What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to World of Warcraft, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to pop our pre-incarn here and get right into the run. I believe this is a Theater of Pain 12, if I remember correctly, so we exchanged some pleasantries right at the beginning and get right into it. So we're going to Mind Soothe and Ring of Peace the first mobs here, hug this left-hand side. We're going to make sure that we pop into bear form and taunt the Bloodhorn. Then we're going to get right into the first boss, Lust, and pop absolutely everything. We're going to make sure to soothe this Bloodhorn here in a second. He actually gets the whole Raging Tantrum off. I think I'm just like trying to make sure that I live because I'm a little bit nervous, but able to heal that pretty quickly with Lust, take out the Bloodhorn before he even does it again, and this boss is going to be pretty easy. Things you need to worry about are these noxious spores. We'll just get a bunch of crap on the ground. They all go on players too, so I'm trying to not move too much and make sure that they're stacked up as much as they can be, just so we don't take up the entire room, and then trying to stay away from enemy people while avoiding this decaying breath. Making sure that we interrupt Sathel the Accursed, making sure that those necrotic bolts don't get off whenever possible, and then we're being wary of the decaying breath and the Decapitator using the Mighty Smash, I believe, is the AoE ability, so that'll just do some raid damage, and then Mortal Strike will be the tank buster that you need to be aware of. Pretty easy first boss. Nothing too crazy to go over, so I'm probably going to skip the rest of this, but as you can see, we get the circles again. We get a nice stack there. As you can see, that was a much better stack before, and we take up significantly less of the room with those stacks than before. So we're going to skip ahead and just kind of get on with the rest of the dungeon because this boss is just kind of rinse and repeat. So we'll drop it down into this hole right here, and I'm looking for the ghost side. I like to do this caster side first. I just think it's better. I pop dash here to get into position, and then make sure that I still have my stampeding roar for the gather here, just so I can gather these quicker. I end up getting slowed pretty badly here, so it's nice that the mage runs ahead and pulls the other ghost over there. I see that he pulls it, make sure that I get threat on it, pop incarn, get everything into this corner, and this is where we will go and do another nice pull here. Any stops are nice, but these bind souls don't really hurt that much, so just kick what you can, stop what you can, easy clap. We'll just AoE all this down. Monk is absolutely blasting. Our damage felt a little bit low in this dungeon, and low damage is going to make this timer a bit tight, but it ends up working out pretty well. This is a pretty just good run overall, and one of my first higher Theater of Pain runs that I've done on tank. I've only just really done like 10s or maybe an 11 here and there, so I don't have too much experience with this dungeon. Was trying to just do more dungeons that I don't have as much experience with. I know the dungeons that I've probably done the most are like Dark Flame Cleft and Rookery and all that sort of stuff. So making sure to interrupt these Bone Maguses, these Bone Spears. I like to go right and then right again on these platforms. I think it's easier to do that way. You get these Bone Maguses, especially if you have a Blood Elf in the party or multiple Blood Elves in the party. You can just Arcane Torrent their shields off right at the beginning of combat, instantly taking the mobs down to about 50% health. So that goes a little bit crazy. Shamans also go crazy. I believe you can purge this off as well. So we'll go here. We'll get the Portal Guardian. The Magus is, I believe the Mage is also taking the shields off. I think that's what he's doing there. But as you can see, these Bone Maguses die pretty quickly. They're just the freest count ever. They have a really slow cast. I pop Incarn or Incapacitating Roar to make sure that I disrupt those. We'll get this Necrotic Volley kicked, and once this Soulstorm is over and everyone is stabilized, we'll go towards these Maguses over here, and we'll chain pull with them with the back of this Portal Guardian, because these are not too dangerous. I get kind of a late Typhoon there. I don't know what I'm doing necessarily, but this is a pretty easy chain pull. Gives you the count that you need. Really easy to disrupt these Maguses, especially because their casts are so long. And we'll just pick up the orb. We'll take it on over here, and we will go right again. It'll take us over to, I believe, this Bone Reaver here. Yep. And again, we'll get two Bone Maguses that we just have to make sure we get kicks on, but the Bone Reaver itself doesn't really do a whole lot. So easy pulls all around. As you can see, these Bone Maguses go down very quickly. And yeah, Soulforge Bone Reaver is just going to take a bit to kill, but we'll just skip ahead just a bit when we go to the next area. This platform is kind of the only one that you really would want to be a little bit nervous for. There's 3 casts going off. The priority is Bone Spear. Bone Spear will be the thing that one-shots you. I think we actually lose someone right here. Bam, as you can see, our healer just gets one-tapped. There's absolutely nothing he can do about it. Yeah, Bone Spear is priority. I believe you can heal through the Necrotic Volley. You don't want that to go off either, but in a coordinated group, you would do some kick coordination there, but we lose someone pretty quickly. And unfortunately, that will cost us a cheeky 15 seconds. Make sure that we get Mark of the Wild on him, and then take the portal into this next boss. I will do some limit testing pulls towards the end of this key or in the middle of this key, just because I am just seeing, I'm kind of testing my survivability in a lot of these like 12s and stuff like that. Again, I'm still rocking with 3 set on this Druid. I just don't raid hardly at all. I kind of barely have enough time to do a lot of Mythic Plus, all the Mythic Plus that I need. So, you know, it's been a mission to get tier, but we get our last catalyst charge this week, so I can catalyze my helmet, so that'll be good. If you're wondering what gear I run to, it should be accurate on Raider.io as well. So I know I put the talents at the beginning of this video, but Raider.io should be accurate as far as what I run. I'm usually in Bear Spec as well. So yeah. So again, I ping to where to put the clones here. Stack up, doesn't matter. You don't need to be in range to actually drop those. So if you're a melee DPS, you can just stand on the boss. As long as you're in line with where everyone is going, your clone will drop at the back of the room. I like to drop them in that corner where the mage is standing right now, right over here. Sometimes they can bug out and actually go past this wall, so you want to make sure that they are going to be on the edge here, making sure that they're staying on the platform so that you're actually able to hit them. If you're playing Paladin as well, Divine Toll does not hit them. So if you're saving Divine Toll for damage on those, the last couple times I've tried to do it, it just doesn't hit them. So I'm really not sure why that is. And then I try and take a position in the other side of this room to make sure that I'm facing the frontals away from where everyone is accustomed to standing or where everyone is preparing to stand for that mechanic. As you can see, I'm standing in melee. We drop the clones. It's not the tightest spread ever, but close enough for them to get some good damage. Clones go down pretty free, and I'll just be eating a lot of these rotating balls that go around the boss. They don't do too much damage to the tank. You just need to be maybe aware of them, have something running. If like this was an overlap, like that's the tank buster and the ball, I guess, but it's not too big a deal on a 12 or something like that. I would be more concerned about this on a hierarchy, so maybe don't take that into like 13s, 14s, 15s, whatever you're trying to do, but I just eat them on 12s just to pad my stats a little bit. So we'll skip ahead. This boss will die. It's kind of a rinse and repeat, and we will get into a pretty scary pull. I see that we have Lust up, so I usually do the Gladiator guy side. I like to do that, but I think this is a better pull to pop Lust. We have Lust up, so might as well. We have a bunch of people standing in range, which is a little bit unfortunate. So these sludge spewers are going to go absolutely everywhere. But we pop Lust, pop every button, grab the path that's outside the room, and we should be able to cleave this down pretty well. Unfortunately, too, our damage is really, really low this pull. Not entirely sure why. It is what it is. So I think this could have died significantly faster. I'm not sure if my details is just tripping or what, but I feel like that pull should have died much quicker. But either way, we make it through. Heals has plenty of haste to get stuff going, and that saves us a little bit of time, making sure that this is 1 pull instead of 2. Seen people doing this a little bit more. So yeah, goes pretty well. And I see this gas bag pathing away from us to the right, so I know that this doorway is going to be clear. We walk right on up, wait for him to... I like to kind of measure with my screen. I like to look at this corner, and if he's off of my screen, I won't pull him. I don't know. That just seems like it's been working for me. And yeah, we're going to take this part a bit slower. You don't want to pull these sludge spewers, this diseased horrors with the gas bag. The gas bag is just really, really annoying. So I like to just get this out of the way, make sure there's nothing else going on, because these pulls can get hectic with everything bouncing around and all this sort of thing. So making sure that we kick as many decayed filth as we can. These butchers and these horrors don't really do anything. So yeah, I've never struggled with any of their like damage or anything like that on tank or anything. So we'll get this gas bag, and This could be the Lust pull as well. So if you wanted to split that initial pull that we did, that really big one with Lust, if you want to split that into 2 pulls, and then you just go down here and you pull those 2 homies at the door with the boss and Lust, that's also something that you could do. But I like to Lust that big pull. I wanted to limit test it, see how it went, and I try to get this gas bag away from the existing puddles so that people have a lot more room to position themselves around this gas bag. You don't want to get hit by the frontal, or technically it's a frontal and a, what would you call something that's behind something? A rear? I don't know. But yeah, front and back, don't want to stand on those. Stand on his flanks. Easy mob, you know, not too crazy. Does some like pulsing AoE. It's just bad. So the Butcher and the Horror don't really do anything to everyone else. So that's why I'm like, we'll do this with boss. These will just slowly die. I might take a little bit more tank damage at the beginning of this pull, but nothing that I shouldn't be able to handle. I haven't even popped like a defensive yet, so I just pop Rage of the Sleeper. We'll get some damage. These leftovers are going to come in and just start bouncing around. The meat shield, it goes off. Doesn't really matter. This thing's going to live just a bit longer, but again, not really worried about it. The Hateful Strike on this boss can hurt, so make sure that you have maybe something running, or at least if you're a Druid, some stacks of Iron Fur to go into one of those, and we'll just be looking to avoid these chains. Kind of weaving through here. And there's definitely a better way to do this boss, I think, where you can position the leftovers a bit more to stack up all this goop so you have some more room to move freely. But in some pug runs, sometimes you just have to do it, and it's not the prettiest, but it works. So we'll get some goop going. And I try and move over to this sort of side of the room because that was where the initial goop was dropped, so I know those are going to go away pretty soon. This boss will be just rinse and repeat, dodge chains, make sure the leftovers die, and take them out. And as you can see, those 2 mobs that we pulled at the door, they die. They didn't do anything to the group. They didn't really disrupt anything we had going on. So feel free to do that at your leisure. This boss takes a while, but we'll take the chains back up, and we'll go towards Zab the Unfallen. This pull can get a bit dicey as well. So what I like to do here is make sure that we ping the Arbalest. We make sure that this guy goes down. He will use shoot on random targets, and as you can see, it does a pretty good amount of damage. So he'll shoot here. He shot the priest for a good amount of his health, and when you pull this brutalizer guy, he does what's it called? Like an AoE sort of thing. So he'll use Earth Crusher. As you can see, that did some raid damage there. We killed the Arbalest, and I believe after this Savage Flurry, he's going to do another AoE. But sometimes you can get a really bad overlap where the Arbalest randomly shoots a player and they get Earth Crusher. As you can see, the Mage got dropped to about 35% health, 30-something% health, and that Arbalest might have actually finished him off if that is an overlap. So you got to be really, really careful as long as that Arbalest is alive. If he's not, the other 2 mobs don't really do anything. Don't need to worry about that too much. So we'll finish off this Brutalizer. These pulls are pretty boring, so I'm just going to skip ahead. Making sure that you have a defensive rolling for Savage Flurry because it will hit you like an absolute freight train. Yeah, moving right along. We will get Heaven the Breaker here. It's just a single target. It is what it is. I know some people have skipped a couple of these mobs, but you definitely don't want to pull these big guys with the trash pack in the center. As you can see, there's the Captain, the Arbalests, and the other guys. So make sure that you're not ever pulling one of these big guys with that middle pack. That is just not a good idea unless you are in some good god group and they can kill the captain fast enough and then make it worth it. But the captain buffing his allies is just a bad idea when you have something as strong as this guy looking at you. So we'll look to finish this guy off, just running out for the whirlwinds. He should Colossus Smash. We'll use Interrupting Roar, so if you're a caster, look out. Not the most fun thing, but yeah, Colossus Smash increases all the damage you take, so make sure that you have something rolling for that. I just pop Survival Instincts here and then just heal it off really quick. As a bear, all the Iron Fur protects me pretty well. So we'll take him out and we'll go into this next pull. This pull, the captain actually reduces the AoE damage that all of the other mobs take. So there's not a whole lot of point to AoEing too much at the start of this pull. You want to make sure that this captain goes down as fast as humanly possible so that you can actually more efficiently kill the rest of the pull. So as you can see, he's getting absolutely demolished. We'll take him out pretty quick. We'll finish off the rest of this pull, and then we'll start dealing with the Arbalists. If the Arbalists die earlier than the Conscripts, you can just chain pull these into the next guy because the Conscripts don't really do anything. So feel free to do that, but you don't want to pull the Arbalists with these. I don't know. I just like to be a little bit safer, especially in pug groups. So we'll go right into Advent. This gets kind of messy too. He puts these spinning blades on the ground. What I usually like to do is pull up the stairs. I didn't televise that at all. So we'll get that big AoE there, and I think later I just ping to go up the stairs because you can just run out of space in this room right here. So we're just gonna get a little bit of a scuffed run. We'll start pulling these up the stairs, and eventually we get our groove and we start pulling this guy up, leaving all of the blades behind, and eventually ending up in the boss room where we can just pull the boss. We have Lust back up for this, and we're just going to opt to Lust this boss instead of the last one. Last boss is not super scary. I don't think you really need Lust for him unless you're on like a hierarchy. So just to get it on cooldown, if by some crazy coincidence we need another Lust, it will come up with about a minute and a half left in the key. So that'll be good. We get some good burst on this boss too. Take him down to about 70%, 69% if you will. Before he 60% almost before he actually uses his first thing. Mage gets absolutely smoked by the warrior there, and they come back up in record time actually, which is really helpful because we have some more help for longer to kill this banner, and we get some good cleave damage on the boss. So he's looking at about 50% health, and he's only done one of those phases. Make sure you have something running for brutal combo here. I just pop Rage of the Sleeper and make sure that I can live through that. And yeah, we'll dodge the Deafening Crash, dodge the Slam here, and dodge the Cleave. Staying close to the boss is usually good practice in this key. If you're at the edge of the room, you have a much, much higher chance of getting hit. Lots more space to cover. And so we'll just drag him over to the banner. Make sure that any cleave that we can get is fully utilized. And there we go. Take the banner out. He'll do another combo. We're close to the boss, so we can just spin around him again when he looks the other way, and rinse and repeat. So we'll take out this boss, and we'll go into the final, running back to that central chamber, taking the portal up, and waiting a bit for the RP. This boss, the thing about tanking is this frontal or this tank buster hits like a freight train. So you'll see me drop low a couple times in this fight. This first one I eat up pretty well just with Incarn running. My max health pool is pretty crazy right now, making sure to move behind him for Dark Devastation. On Paladin, if you're tanking this on Paladin, never use Divine Toll unless the ads come out. That's a really, really good way to get those ads grouped up. As a Druid, don't really have that luxury, but we get the first set of portals, so these are going to spawn ads. Everyone just kind of takes initiative and kicks their own ad, which is really cool here. This is the first time I've seen it go so cleanly. Everyone just kicks their own ads. We take those out in record time, and we're able to just get right back on the boss, move behind her for Dark Devastation, and just sitting pretty. Reap and Scythe comes out, and as you can see, I get absolutely demolished there. I have Barkskin available too. I don't know why I didn't press it, but it is what it is. So this second portal comes out. This one will just do damage. We shouldn't get ads after that one. Reaping Scythe comes out. I have Barkskin for this one, so as you can see, I'll take significantly less damage. Get behind her for Dark Devastation, and we'll be looking towards the 50% health mark where she will phase change. So we'll get Echoes of Carnage here. We'll get the melee guys that will spawn on top of her or close by. So moving away from those, make sure we don't get hit by the circles on the ground. And playing the corner here, popping Survival Instincts to make sure that I can stay alive through that next Reaping Scythe. And then looking around to see where the Buffalo guys are going to spawn so that we don't get clipped by those. Again, behind for Dark Devastation, and this next portal coming out should be the one that spawns ads. So we'll get Grasping Rift. And these, when you have the circles on you, that's when this will spawn the ads here. So I get hit by Reaping Scythe. I get hit really, really hard here. I Incarn a little bit late, I think, but we're still able to kill the ads. And I actually run into a Buffalo there too, which is not super good. looking to get the res on this, but I res him in the puddle right there, so he's just going to sit on that res, making sure to not take it immediately. As soon as those go off, he'll take the res. We'll get another Grasping Rift, but this one will not put the circles on us, so we know that adds are not coming out of this one, so won't have to deal with those. Dark Devastation comes at a bit of a weird time as well. But yeah, we're going to pretty quickly finish off this boss. We're going to time the 12. Not any sort of crazy run, not any sort of a record-shattering run, but good framework. This is, again, my gear, too, so if you want, I'll just go through all this just to, so you guys can see what I'm running. But yeah, not using Forset or anything like that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment what you guys want to see next, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.